This is day number 9. It's almost Halloween.
All right, I'm just being funny. Okay, so guess what, guys? Day number 9, my self-actualization experiment. And it's October 23rd. So yeah, it is. It's almost Halloween. But as I'm going through this process, I had a quick question for you guys. Do you remember playing hide and seek when you were a kid or even as an adult? And if so, do you remember times when you would hide and you hid so well that you're in your spot and you're waiting and you're thinking, man, I got the perfect hiding spot. Nobody's going to find me. And then as time passes, you realize, I wonder if they're still looking for me. And you start to poke your head out and you're like, are they still looking for me? And I was thinking about this during my morning process of how often people stop playing the game. So think about it like this. See, when it comes to creating the life that we want, getting the things that we want, having things manifest, I believe that finding is reserved for those that seek, and doors being opened are reserved for those that knock. See, the thing about seeking and knocking, those are verbs, they're actions. You have to do something to make it happen. And this could be taboo for some people that I've had this conversation with, that, it's more of a faith-based conversation where they're like, well, if I pray and this, that, God will make it happen. If it's meant to be, God will, make it happen. And I get that. But even through the pages of the Bible, it talks about faith without works is dead. You have to actually do something. See, you can't pray, fast, meditate, pray, fast, pray, fast, meditate, and then get off your butt and go watch TV. Actually, that's not even getting off your butt. Getting back on your butt and going to watch TV. It's that there's nothing that's going to happen within the realm of what it is that you want to create. I believe that action is literally the active ingredient to the miracle working process. See, when you think about a recipe, or you think about your food that you have in your cupboard, and you look at the ingredients. When you look at the ingredients, there's a lot of ingredients in there, but then there's only like 1 or 2 that are activating ingredients. And I look at action like that list of all these other things that it takes to get what you want. There's a whole list of things that it takes. There's a list of things that it takes to be a leader, a list of things that it takes to grow yourself mentally, a list of things that it takes to, create the relationships you want. But action is the activating ingredient to me. Because if we take no action towards what it is that we say that we want, then we won't create what we want. So I was going through that in my mind when I was literally thinking about hide and go seek. Because how often does that happen in life where we stop playing the game? Where we stop seeking? I'm not going to find it. It's hiding too well for me to find. I'm not going to be able to create this in my life. I'm not going to be able to get that in my life. I'm not not even going to look for it. It doesn't even seem possible or probable, so I'm not going to look for it. So we stop looking, and then we never find it, and then we're like, oh, see, I knew I would never find it. The dogs are excited. And then we're like, oh, see, I knew I would never find it, but we stopped looking. And so I find it amazing how many doors have opened for me recently that are outside of my comfort zone. How many doors that have opened that are outside of my general knowing, my general things that I connect with. Because I'm living at the edge of my comfort zone. I'm living at the edge of my unknown. So, and because I'm knocking in those areas, because I'm seeking in those areas, more things are manifesting and opportunities and doors are being opened in those areas. See, and if I only stuck in this space within my comfort zone, sure, I'd probably have opportunities and doors being opened here. But the thing about it is, that's opportunities and doors being opened within the things that I already know, in creating the life and maintaining the life that I already have. But seeing how I want more, I want to create more, then in order to get more, or in order to get the things that I don't have, or to know the things that I don't know, I have to work in an area that I'm not in. that's where, see, everything in my comfort zone, everything between my ears, everything that I know has gotten me everything that I have. So me putting myself in a space where I get outside of all of that, then those opportunities and those doors being open, if I'm active, if I create, if I use that activating ingredient, more than just prayer, more than just fast, more than just positive thinking, then I can actually have what I want. And the craziest thing is, think about having what we want. See, we have an idea of what it is that we want and what it looks like. We have an idea of what it looks like, what it's packaged like, what it seems like, what it's going to give us, how it's going to make us feel. But the thing is, none of that will necessarily be true because we don't have it yet. See, if we had it, then we wouldn't be seeking it because we already have it. But the fact that we don't have it means we actually don't know what it takes to get it. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know what it's packaged like. We don't know how it's going to make us feel to have it because we don't have it yet. And so when we live in this space over here that's outside of our comfort zone, outside of our knowing, that's going to, there's more risk out here because we're more vulnerable, because we have to be more open. What it is that we want could be packaged and look completely different than what we think it's going to look like. It could make us feel completely different once we have it. It could make us feel 300 times better than how we think it's going to make us feel. It could even make us feel worse than we think it's going to make us feel. We have no idea because we don't have it yet. But the only way to have it is to open our minds and open ourselves up to the possibility of something unique and different. See, if I have this list of things like relationships, when I work with people in relationships and people tell me they have this list, oh, this guy has to have this, 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 and this, and this, or this girl has to have this, 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 has to have this kind of a job, has to have this kind of a mustache or a beard, or has to be this tall, or has to, light skin, dark skin, or whatever, has to be this ethnicity, or whatever it is. When we put that list together on the package, then we close ourselves off to what could be open, really what, like the love that we're seeking, the type of relationship, the person. See, standards are different. Having a certain level of standards of how someone treats you is different than a list of what they look like, or a list of what they have, or a list of, how they're, that's completely different. Yeah, you want a person that's going to treat you well. You want a person that's going to treat you like a king or like a queen. You want a person that's going to, that's not going to abuse you. You want there's a list of things that you want to have within your standards, but not a list of what the package or what the gift wrapping is going to look like. See, you could have the most amazing gift wrapping with the package. I remember I did this with my kids once, and some of you might have done this before, where we took this big box, huge box, and we wrapped it up, and it looked beautiful, and it had the bow on it and everything, and it looked amazing. And then I remember my son, he came out for Christmas, and he was like, oh my God, the package is awesome. It's so big, and it's so amazing, and it's so neat, and it's tidy, and the bow is perfect. Oh, it's everything that I thought it would be. And so he opens it, and then inside of that box is another box. And he's like, what's going on? And then he opens that box, and inside of that box is another box. And he opens that box, inside of that is another box, and then another box, and then another box. And then it gets down to, from this big package to this small box. And then he's like, I don't want it anymore. He didn't even want to open the small box. He wasn't excited. He didn't have the big eyes anymore. But we're like, come on, open it. We're having to beg him to open his gift now, because he doesn't want to do. And finally, he thought it was funny as he was opening more boxes. He thought it was kind of cute, kind of funny. But then finally he gets to a smaller box. And then what happened was, inside the small box, there was more value in that gift, and cost-wise, value-wise, and once he opened it, he was so excited about the trip and the package that he got, the trip that he got, and everything that's involved in what we had for him to do with a trip, with a vacation, and where to go and who to visit and all these different things, that he loved that so much more. But see, when he had an idea of the big box, he could only wrap his mind around something like, oh, a bike, or something like, oh, maybe a Nintendo whatever, whatever, or a Xbox whatever, whatever, with all these different games and things. He could only wrap his mind around specific things of within his expectation that were on his Christmas list. Oh, what is this compared to what was on my Christmas list? But when we finally got to the smaller box and he didn't even want to open it, that's that hide and seek. He stopped looking. See, as a kid, he was pressured by his parents to go ahead and say, keep unwrapping it. Keep opening it. Keep an open mind to the possibilities of what could be amazing in even a small box, even a small package. Something more amazing could be in there than in a big box. But as adults, we don't have parents or even the influence of our parents being able to say, keep doing this, keep doing that. We make up our minds so quickly. We judge a book by its cover so quickly. And we close ourselves off to so much more in life. And the thing is, when we're hurt, when we're betrayed, when we have all these issues happen in our life, when people let us down, when people, abuse us, all these different things that happen in our lives, what happens is when we build up these walls, we're not keeping the pain out. What we're doing is we're keeping our blessings out, and we're keeping all the hurt that we already feel that's in here right now, we're keeping it in here with us. Keeping the pain that we already feel in with us, and we're keeping the possibility of new blessings out. So when I think about hide and seek, just like with my son, I'm speaking to adults, I'm not speaking to kids. So I'm not encouraging kids, keep opening the box, keep seeking, keep going, don't stop. You never know what might be in there. You never know how it's going to make you feel. I'm talking to adults. And so it's completely up to you if you have an open mind or not. It's completely up to you what you'll be open to. But I will say this. If you stop seeking, or if you lower your expectations of what you're going to find, then you're not going to find what you want. Think about someone in your life, whether it's your parents or grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends that you've seen, that if it seems like they've given up, or it seems like they've stopped looking, or it seems like they're looking but they're just not looking as hard anymore. They're just like, I'll look under this. It's not there. Okay. So, even though those are other people, it's easy for us to see that in other people. But how have we, in our own lives, stopped seeking? How have we in our own lives stopped knocking? How have we in our own lives stopped playing the game? With as much excitement as we did when we first started playing the game. And I'm thinking, I'm even talking to myself right now. Because when I think about the enthusiasm that I had when I first started doing certain things in my life compared to now, even in relationships, all these different things in life. So, but those are my thoughts. This is straight from my heart. I appreciate you guys. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear how this made you feel. I would love to hear anything, good, bad, because what that's doing is, if it struck a chord, whether it's a good or bad one, that's something within you that is authentically being triggered. And then that means what's happening is you're getting closer to your real self, acknowledging and understanding your real self. And don't ignore it. Don't just push it to the side. if a button's being pushed in you, good or bad, that's why I say go ahead and share some feedback, because now you're thinking about it. You have to write something out about it. You're acknowledging that it exists. And it's not about even looking for answers. It's about acknowledging and sharing your truth. Sharing your authentic self, because that button that pushed something in you, it's getting closer to your heart. It's getting deeper. I mean, if you're looking to stay more surface level, if you're looking to not go deep because you're scared of what you'll find, then I get that. I completely understand that. And I think that's why it took so long for me to actually do something this deep for myself, this self-actualization experiment, because I was scared. Because it was scary of what I might find the deeper I go, the closer I get to my own heart, the closer, the more I understand myself. So I want to thank you guys. I think this one was a little bit longer than normal, but I have really no expectation for length. So either way, I appreciate you guys. I have so much love and respect and appreciation for everyone that's watching these videos. So you guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday, what's left of your weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.